Good morning. Welcome to Thompson's Farmstead Adventures. And today's Tuesday the 5th, day after Labor Day, 2023. Well, we're finally getting back on the office build here. Constantly pull off for something else, here and there. And, did Matthew's mom's house and stuff. But every time I try to get something done, something else happens or something else is needed. So I was just working on the closets for the wife, so the office got put off to the side so we can go ahead and work on the front closet and give her more space, and also the pantry for all her jars. So today what we're going to do is figure out our ducting and see what I got in stock, and get the 16-inch that we have up here, get that part installed. Get the 8-inch that's back there. I'm gonna have to trim that collar down so I can make it work. The plenum will drop down a little bit once we get ready to set everything in place, so it won't impede in the red beam as much. But once I cut some off, I'll make it work. And we get that 16-inch out here, and once we get it out and we get to our first connection there, I have to make the TYs, because unfortunately the place I buy the stuff from, they don't carry every size of TY out there like a bigger shop would. So I have to fabricate my own, and unfortunately it when you have to make your own TY, not only does it take the time, but it also doesn't allow the airflow to distribute properly, because now you're just kind of making things happen, instead of doing it the right way. There's a reason why the TYs are made different sizes and shapes and stuff. But anyways, that 8-inch runs over here and takes care of the two 6-inch lines for the office. And then I have a 9-inch coming off of the back side over there. It's going to go to a 5-inch to the little bathroom, our little off-grid bathroom right now, until I get water and everything to it. I don't have water to this building. I have water past the house over to the shop or chicken coop or garden area. We actually had to run a hose underground for the garden area and just bury it until we're ready to run and hook up our hydrant hoses. But so right now, I'll go ahead and show you what we got going on here with the ducting. Excuse me. Still learning all this stuff. What we have here, here's that 6-inch that I was talking about, or the 8-inch. It's tied up against the middle beam. So go 866 to those guys there. I got to go 16, 14, 9, and then 14, 14, because they don't make another TY. Well, that's kind of where I'm at, really. And all this stuff's blowing in the shop, so it's really not going to matter. Then it goes 14, 12, 9. You always put your first number here on your TY is what you're connected to. Your second number is after your distribution section. So that'd be the 12 right here. And then 9 would be your outlet. So that's where we're going there. So if anybody out there is learning HVAC, there's a little tip. So once we get the ducting up there and kind of strapped up a bit, so we can start getting the plywood in and get it out to the edge, I have to get my plywood out past the 2x6 that's up there to the face of the wood flooring that we repurposed from the house when we had that water damage. So then I'll have to trim off on both sides of my door opening in that area and make it all happen. Now we'll show you what's going on. That way I can bring up my drywall, and then whatever type of wood I'm going to use, I'm thinking about tongue and groove on top of here and maybe stain it. I don't know, with all the white road dust that you get, if I do a darker stain, then it might turn white over a period of time. That's a lot of dusting to do. So, right, we're gonna go ahead and grab my keys, get inside the trailer, and see what I've got. Well, it pays to save. Doing the house, and any project I do, I always keep my duct. And this one here, I wrote down, it's 14-inch, right? But I put in there 3 feet. And considering that we're about 3 feet apart, I can make it work. I might have to add a little more to the 12, but yeah, at least I'm not wasting any duct. It's almost 4 feet. So once we get our connections on each side, it'll work. And then when it comes to these guys here, it's, you know, it says 5 inches on there. That's probably plenty length that I need for connecting up top to that one there. Once I get to a plenum, you know, and then I mean, once I connected the 9 inch to the plenum, the TY is going to be over here, so it'll backfeed a little bit for that bathroom. And then I'll continue out here and it'll blow. Once I frame all this out, it'll blow that way. But I'm not going to frame it out until I get all my water lines, gas lines, all that stuff inside the building. So this will stay open for quite a long time. But in the meantime, went through my trailer and got 8 feet of 12 here, even though it says a 14-inch bag right there. A mark on it. Came across a 14-12-8 TY. So that guy right there, which is going to be 16-14-9, which I'm hoping they have, and then 14-14-9. Well, this one here is supposed to be a 14-12-9. Well, it's going to be a 14-12-8. I'm just going to buy a reducer if they don't have a 14-12-9 in stock. And then, I'll take you over here. We got a small 5-foot piece of 16. Hopefully that'll be enough to come out of the plenum area. And then I got about, but this feels like we've got plenty of 14 inch there. So if it works out, if it's only 5 feet and that gets me to right here, that's okay. Then I can put my TY on and then run my duct over to there and then run the 14 inch as far as I have to for my next TY. You know, just burn up whatever scrap I have, because the 16-inch duct at R8, I think, is $180 a bag for 25 feet. So, I mean, come on. That's at the supply store I go by. That's nearby. I don't know what it costs at Home Depot or Lowe's. Even if they stock R8, because R8's the highest insulation value you can go, which is the way you want to go, no matter where you live. Or better if you live where it snows all the time. Or it's super hot like Palm Springs and stuff like that, the deserts. Mojave Desert, Death Valley. So, I got a list of what I got to get. I got a list of what I have, and we'll see where we go from there. Matthew's just going to go ahead and open up the bags and just lay things out just to see what we've got lengthwise. Inside the trailer, I got plenty of 7, plenty of 5, plenty of 6, and a lot of 10. And I like doing even numbers when I do a house. You know, if it's a new cut in or something like that. But this house here had so many different sizes, and they like using odd numbers and even numbers. So you're buying a bunch of ducks. Stay with even numbers for you HVAC guys. Then you only have that much. Then you can add more stock to your trailer or truck, whatever you're looking at, or box truck. Then you don't have to carry all the odd sizes. Then you just carry transitions, you know. Do a transition down if you have to, or up, like I'm going to be doing. Like that. It's just a small little, you know, reducer. That one is, it says it on there. It's 8, and I'm going to assume 7. Yep, 8, 7. 8 there, 7 there. Like I said with that one duct, I'm going to just reduce it down to an 8. You know, it's all blowing into the same area. It's not like I have it going into separate rooms. All right, what we got going on here? Let me just adjust the camera a bit. Matthew's going to go ahead and pull back the insulation, get the center duct out. This is the way I'm teaching him how to do it. So any of you guys out there in YouTube land want to do this to your own house, you'll know how. And you can buy all these parts at Home Depot, Home Base, stuff like that. They don't sell, I don't think they sell T-wise too much. I think they sell like these really funky looking things like 888s, 101010s and whatever. And as you can see, the product that I'm buying isn't all that great. I didn't even get the crimp on there very well. But we'll make it work. So what I like doing is putting the duct sealer on the piece of metal that we're going to be applying first, which will be that duct first, one coming off the plenum. And then the second one will be this one right here. And then the third will be the 5-inch. Got to feel for the wire and make sure you get it over the edge. Once you get over the edge, it'll slide right on. But putting the duct seal on there, it'll make sure that that'll never leak or slide off. In the past, before Panduit straps, which are those giant electrical straps, before those became the play, we used to use just regular duct tape because that's what it showed on the product. You know, you buy a bag of this stuff here or a box way back then, it'll show a little, it'll have directions in there, 2 pieces of tape to the inside, 2 pieces of tape to the outside. Well, unfortunately over the years, the regular duct tape that was made out of almost, I'm going to say canvas, but I'm really not sure what the materials are, and it was woven. So here's what he's putting on the Panduit strap right now. Well, what happened is the glue would separate from that canvas piece of tape, and then it would come apart. The glue would dry out. Then they went to using these Panduit ties and this packaging tape kind of stuff that they use out there now. Well, instead of using the packaging tape, I like using this duct sealer. You do that, you'll never have a leak. You don't have to worry about the tape splitting apart, because it will, you know, that packaging tape style. Kind of like, almost like a tie-back tape, if you guys are used to know what that is. Similar to that. But tears a lot easier. Well, hold on, you know what, let's do this differently here, because you can, instead of tucking that in there, put this piece on next. Don't tuck all that back, because we're not going to wrap this in. We're going to use the insulation from the duct as the insulation. Take the duct as far as you can go because the GUI is tapered. Alright, now he's ready for the strap as far as he can go. called panduit straps. There might be several names for them. We call them panduit straps, giant electrical straps, but these are made for ducks or handcuffing someone before they came out with the double loop ones. And that right there is the panduit gun. Put it down with the black part down and it'll grab it. Let me see the gun. So here's a patent number and all that of the gun. What's the brand name? This one here is an Alco 2x6. I don't know what 2x6 is. Anyways, that's what you're looking at. That's the gun. So when you put the strap in through the black part area, when you squeeze it, it'll grab it on this area and pull it. All right, now put the 5-inch on. You probably have to cut it to size. You push your key right back. Hold on. You cut your duck to size first. Keep going. Okay, like right about here. Give it a little bit of a loop. Yeah. Only because there'll be a lot of air blowing in that little room. Won't be bad when it's air conditioned during those hot days, but in summer, wintertime, it'll get a little toasty. But the whole building should be acclimated. Or not acclimated, tempered. You can use the regular house steak knives. Those work really good. Buy them $4 to a pack for $1 someplace, at Walmart or whatever. They work great. Sometimes the duck knives, they work great for a while, but then they burn out. And you got to try to sharpen each tooth. And sometimes it's just better to carry a throwaway duck knife. A steak knife. I need the other knife. If you struggle with that, you need a sharper knife. You should cut through that like butter. I can do this one-handed. Yeah. Two-hander job. I'm having him, I told him to seal where the 5-inch meets the other tapered area. That way air doesn't come out, dust doesn't go in, Just paint up all your joints. Don't have any issues. Basically, he's taping where he overlapped the outside vapor barrier here and outside vapor barrier there. When we splice two ducts together, we can put one duct inside the other, the black part with the spring, but make sure that the airflow is going, I should put it this way, make sure that the duct that's going with the airflow, if it's going that way, you want that to be on the inside of the other duct you're putting together. And you can tape that, and then you overlap insulation, vapor barrier, tape it, and you won't even know that there's a seam there. you do it right. Now, it might be a little thicker in that area because you've overlapped the insulation. But that's, you know, how you can splice a duct without using a splicing collar or piece of metal that has a crimp on both ends to splice duct together. You can do that, but I just shove the duct inside each other and take the snot out of it. It ain't going anywhere. Just one less fitting I have to worry about on the truck. It's not always that you got to splice your duct, but sometimes you do. Well, I'm almost there. I'm pretty good. Now, this is his first, I should say, how long ago? We started the ducting up in the attic about 6 months ago, something like that. Getting everything out, the HVAC, everything pulled out that we needed to while it was still cold. Like all the AC part and refrigerant lines and stuff. Got all that stuff out of the way. And then as the heat started coming around, then I started working on the closet. Before the heat started coming around, I was pulling all the AC equipment part out, getting things cleaned up in the attic, making more access up there because you need to pull the equipment out. And then once we did that, then we went outside to the closet and started building that and getting it finished out, start putting the equipment together, and started getting hot. We had about maybe 10 days of it getting hot, and we ended up temporarily hooking up the AC outside with the low voltage and electrical, and I got it all going. I still need to put my flue pipe in and everything else as winter approaches. So it's an ongoing process because we've got so much stuff going on. I'm trying to do it at the same time. There we go. Push the duct back. Yep. And voila. That's that. Now you guys know how to install duct. Well, here's the tedious process of making my own TY because they don't sell the size I need. So I gotta turn this. I'm going to turn this guy here into a 16, 14, 9. You can see right here, I put little black marks going around. That's at 16 inches from the end. So I got to cut it out of bevel, kind of an oblong bevel. I have a 16-14 reducer that I'll put on there, which will give me the 14 parts, so I don't have to try to cone it. But I'm not going to sit here and show you the long drawn out part of it. As I get closer, I'll take little more shots of this and show you what we're doing. That's the long boring part. Fabricating out in the field. There you go. Hey guys, here's a quick little tip. If you guys are trying to draw a nice line around your duct, well, the best thing to do is, of course, measure it. All right, out in the field, you can use hanger strap, like 1 inch, 1.5 inch hanger strap, wrap around. That works out great. But for the homeowners and stuff who don't have hanger straps, because you don't normally use it, you can use a nice brand new belt. Nice brand new leather belt from Walmart or Dollar General. It doesn't matter where you buy the belt as long as it's brand new. Right there, look at that. That's a brand new belt. Actually, this is a piece of a belt because I made something with my dad where we put magnets in this thing, and then we gauged it to where it would have holes in it for like 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. And that would be duct size. And at the end of the strap, which had the little loop like that, where the belt buckle went into, is the beginning point. And each hole would represent, for the duct size, would give you the opposite side of the duct if you wanted to put a damper inside there. So it would be perfectly lined up from this part here, and you wrap it around, say an 8-inch duct. Well, then you go to the number 8 on the other side, and it would be perfectly lined up. So the damper would be perfectly lined up inside the duct, so it wouldn't be off. You had to trim it and maybe a gap on the other side, or this, that, and the other. So we were playing around making those ideas, and here are all my little punch sets and stuff that I was working with him. Now, him and I would like to come up with things and make the jobs easier for guys, maybe even some money, you know. But it was just a fun thing, you know, and it worked. You know, I gave him mine out of a belt, and he gave me one that was out of I think it was out of like the Army style belt, the more what the heck's that called? The web belt, you know? Kevlar. Huh? Kevlar. Not Kevlar, no. It's like that web belt, you know, kind of like the Army belts where you slide them in and it holds itself. That type of belt, but I like my leather belt. I did better. So there's a little tip for you guys at home. If you're trying to cut duck, just grab a piece of belt, or grab a belt and use it as your ruler for making your lines. Smart tip. Tip of the day. Matthew went ahead and we went ahead and got all that up there. Let me extend, and I'll put a strap on it and raise that up to take that dip out of it, because I actually need to go, well, no, that plenum is going to drop when I get the furnace put inside there. So that 9-inch is going to drop down some, about 3 inches. And so I'm going to go over that 9-inch for my 3-inch, 3 to 4 inch. I might do 4 inch, I'm not sure. But I'm going to get my PVC vent pipe up and over that, and then out the side of the wall. So it'll be right underneath the gutter and then facing down. And I won't have to worry about any leaks from that. So, but we got the 8-inch on the back. Up there it's put on, and then went ahead and hooked up the 2 6s. And as you can see, got the 16-inch on there, and now we're working on that TY, and then would be the 14. And if you look at the 16, you get you up in the rafter area, you can see it's tight. I'm gonna have a heck of a time getting the plywood up underneath there, you know, but we'll get it. We'll get it done. We'll leave the drywall down, and then we'll get the plywood in there so we can push the deck up and slide the plywood in and screw it down wherever we can, you know. I do have to leave some room so I can fish out for my land, which is my cat, man, my internet. That's my internet cable. This is where my desk is gonna go. And have all my screens and stuff all over the place. But anyways, there we go. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You know, I feel weird saying that. I really do. I feel weird talking to myself in the camera. This would have been nice in my younger years when I was walking all over the place by myself, you know, when I was a lone wolf. You know, people say they're crazy people, they're talking to themselves. Yeah, maybe they're talking to God. Who knows? Don't judge a book by its cover. Have a blessed day.